finna get juicy. Big disciple, not bad and bougie.
Hi, Sugar Toes.
Hi, Sugar Toes.
What do you want, Steve?
A beach, a phone, and you win it.
Ooh.
Down here waiting while you make yourself purty for me. Ooh, tell me, baby.
Tell me, baby. Once again, Stephen Laura time, all the time. Life lessons of Stephen Laura. The life lesson here is, guys, it is okay to be friends first. If we go and look at this little scene here with Stephen Laura, I don't think people pick this up, where Steve kind of comes in and he's flirting with Laura. And then now Laura, you're not kind of throwing the towel back at him, is flirting with him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think people see how much Laura actually flirts with Steve.
Did you see all that futuristic techno stuff back there?
Yeah.
Wait, Laura. What's the matter?
Nothing. I was just thinking how much Steve Urkel would love to see this.
So, you know, we entered a little bit of stuff on here. Y'all know transformation chamber, I call it jiggle juice, whatever you want to call it. And voila, here is Stefan. But I think we have these fantasies and we have these, you know, ideas of how something is going to be. She's walking, was it Disneyland, Disney World, with supposedly the man of her dreams. And she's thinking about Steve and looking at stuff and kind of in her feelings a little bit. If you see, right, she's kind of in her feelings a little bit. Lesson to all of us is that, what is it? The grass ain't always greener. You know what I'm saying? This is, look at this.
Hello? Room 596, please?
Look at this, Steve.
Stephen Q. Urkel.
Look at his faces everywhere.
Yes,
Look at this. On her
what do you
gown.
mean he's not in his room? It's 11:30 in the p.m.
Wow.
Well, sorry, just doesn't cut the mustard now, does it, buddy boy?
Myra loves Steve first. No, you mean Myra was obsessed with Steve first. I'll give you that. Cares about that. And that's what I keep saying before. Myra will never catch up to Steve and Laura because they love each other in the greatest way, which is friendship.
Laura and I are engaged to be married.
I'm sorry, I thought you said you and Laura were engaged.
I did. Myra, I'm sorry, but I'm never going to turn into Steve Urkel again.
Never? Day of my entire life.
Myra, I'm so sorry.
But out, tart. Here, you callous cad. That's Steven's Science Club pin.
Now look, this I will say I do somewhat feel a small snidget of sorrow for Myra because it's like Steve and Stefan both want Laura. You know, there's just no winning there. But again, I want to remind people she signed up for this. This is what Myra signed. She was game for it. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what sometimes, man, you make decisions and you got to live with them. It's terrible. It's hard. I've been there. But that's that's what they say in that song, right? That's just the way it is. Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na.
It's not important how we got together. Maybe the only important thing is that we are together.
It's important how you got together.
Stefan, our life together won't be happy if it's based on a lie.
Ooh.
You gotta fix the chamber and turn back into Steve.
Wait, what are you saying? I mean,
Laura's like, look, run, Forrest, run. Like, let me run from this dude because that was so hard for me to do right there. But I wonder, do you see the deepness of Laura? See, Laura be playing with y'all, right? Because she has little funnies and all this and type of stuff. But Laura's actually very deep. She has very deep thoughts. She has very deep feelings. And let me say to you again, the difference between Myra and Laura. Laura said to Stefan, man, we ain't going to have no good life if it's based on a lie, right? Do you see Laura's standard? You feel what I'm saying? Want me to connect it with Stephen Laura? Same thing. If like he loves me way up here and I love him here, but not way up there, right? So now I'm going into this relationship with, you know, not being completely honest, right? So we have to understand these things. Laura, this is so hard for her. Let's pause it real quick because this takes a long time. We'll just speed this up.
I'm jelly.
Steve's back. But do y'all see what I mean? When I continue to say this, right? Steve and Myra together are children. They act like children. This is what I said before. Laura brings out the man, if you will, or the maturity in Steve. And Myra brings out the teenage boy, the boy. You know what I'm saying? Myra and Steve kind of get on my nerves because they remind me of two 12-year-olds.
I know how much you love Stefan. And you made a tremendous sacrifice in giving him a...
Yep.
Thanks, Steve. You know, I have a confession to make.
Now, what's that?
Oh, I kind of like having you back. I actually sort of kind of missed you.
She missed you. Oh. These are my confessions. You know, Usher said it best. But isn't this interesting with Laura that Laura chose to use that word confession? You know what I'm saying? Usually when we confess things, it's kind of what? Things that are hidden, things that are secret, things we don't want people to know. What am I saying? What I've been saying. Laura has a deep, secret love for Steve. Come on now. Okay. Get that snuggling. Oh, Myra. I understand. Myra be hating because Laura fly girl. Okay? In living color, fly girl. But the thing that we have to look at is when Laura said, you know, I sort of kind of missed you, right? What is she missing about Steve? She's missing his friendship, the bond, the connection that they have, the beauty of the writing on this, right? Where you have Myra and Steve, where they can go and do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They can go do all the stuff, okay? And they're still not connecting in the way that Steve and Laura are. So Laura's starting to realize she can go do A, B, C, D, E, F with Stefan. And she's not feeling that connection. She's not feeling that bond that she does with Steve. Steve don't know what's about to happen, boy. What's about to happen? What's about to happen? Somebody's in there. Ooh. This gets me every time. Steve took a sneak peek. Like, well, since you're here, okay, does my fantasy measure up with the visual? I think it probably does for him. Hilarious.
Hi. Steve?
Awkward.
Huh?
How are you?
Fine. Fine. You?
Good.
I want to know, Laura, where are the jokey jokes? Where are the jokey jokes? You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting that Steve and Laura are acting the same way. Well, Steve would act this way because he's been in love with her since they were 6 years old. He got to see some of the precious, okay? Why is Laura acting so awkward? Huh? Okay.
Hi.
Steve tripping out. Laura chilling, Steve tripping.
That was refreshing.
Woo, boy.
Here, I'll help you clean it up.
Yeah. Lord, let him go make the mess, and when you're done, I'll help you clean it up. Watch out now. Boom! Watch out now.
Me more. Me most.
Would you ever have thought that you would see the sexual tension between Steve and Laura? You know what I'm saying? The sexual tension is thick. You know, I think this is a revelation for Laura, right? And so now Laura is seeing Steve literally, guys, okay, in a whole new way. I can't stand when Myra throws all these insults at Laura, like Laura been somewhere, like Laura been with somebody. Laura is as pure as the snow. You know what I'm saying? This is what shows the purity of Laura. So Steve is the first person she's seen. If you get what I'm saying. Steve Urkel.
I'm starved. I haven't eaten in 2 hours.
He said I eat 2 hours. That's guys for you. That's guys for you. 2
Hey,
hours.
that's enough for everybody. You want a brush, Steve?
Woo! Look at Laura too. Look at this. Look at how intensified they are right now.
No, thank you, Edo.
Well, how about a nice juicy thigh?
Woo! He just saw him.
Will you shut your filthy mouth?
Right.
What?
Eddie's like,
All
what?
this talk of breasts and shapely thighs and lean flat stomachs covered with soap.
Woo! Steve said, lean, flat stomachs covered with soap. If you look here, this is Steve and Laura's so cute, guys. But if you look here, Laura's trying to stop Steve, but he's giving her compliments, so she's kind of like, If you notice that, it's the cutest thing because he's like lean, flat stomachs, and Laura's trying to tell him, "Hey, Steve, like you're giving too much detail," but at the same time, he's giving her props. You know what I'm saying on what he saw. It's so adorable. Steve was already well versed in Laura's physique, if you will, but Steve took a good look.
What's going on here?
He took a mental picture.
You see each other naked or something?
Look at these two. Look at these two. Right, Eddie. They saw each other naked. And see, like, why does Laura keep closing her robe like something? Steve, we understand. You know, part of his fantasy he saw Laura in the best way. Can we just be real? Okay. Really, again, if Laura has no feelings for Steve, she should be able to just laugh this off. Say how Steve and Laura's they feel the same way for each other. It's just Steve's is at a higher level. The thing that you'll realize with Steve and Laura, even in awkward situations, they're always in sync. They're always in sync.
Yes, we did. We saw each other nude.
Yep.
Heel, in the bar.
All
in
of
the
that.
bar. All natural, without a stitch, in our birthday suits. Just wearing smiles.
They were just wearing smiles.
And we expect you to keep it quiet.
Oh, I will. At least until I see somebody.
Right.
Now, this is very awkward, and you're not making it any easier.
Oh, now come on, guys. What are you gonna do? Hide from each other till what you saw turns gray?
Ooh. Eddie's right though. See, this is the thing too. Eddie does not realize. Steve, you gotta think about all the stuff that Steve and Laura did, and I said this before. They've done a lot of this bonding and stuff, and where Eddie's not around. So Eddie really does not have a clue deep down how Laura feels about Steve. So this is funny to him. He's looking at this like, guys, chill out, man. It's no big deal. You saw it. I mean, move on with your lives. Like, what's the big deal? But he doesn't realize it is a big deal because it's ignited some things in the both of them.
Work it out.
Work it out. He's right.
Yeah.
And I was right. We have to deal with this.
You're right. But how do we start?
We could try looking at each other without turning beet red.
Without turning beet red. Sound like a grandma. They probably haven't even had eye contact, since that happened. So it's like I said, it's very interesting. He picks this up like, wait a minute, why is Laura? Again, like I said, there's no jokey jokes coming out of Laura's mouth. There's none of her wit and all this other type.
I feel better already.
Oh, me too. Oh, Laura, I just hope you know that what happened was purely an accident.
Oh, Steve, of course. Otherwise, I'd have to kill you.
I have to hurt you, boy.
Well, if I can sleep tonight, I'm afraid I might see again what I shouldn't have seen but did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Steve, we can't go back in time and change what happened.
True.
We have to think about it too. We gotta look at it in the full view, right? Not only has Laura only seen Steve, think about this. It's the only guy she's seen, if you know what I'm saying. But also Laura is dealing with the fact that Steve has seen her. You know what I'm saying? Now, could it possibly be, remember what I was saying before, how Laura may not be ready for those romantic feelings to that degree. I guarantee you, Steve and Laura right now are both feeling a way that neither one of them has ever felt. Not just with each other, but period. Let's just keep it a buck. Laura liked what she saw, Steve liked what he saw, and this is kind of what they got to work through.
Way. I appreciate the fact that when you saw me, you looked away. Almost immediately. Mm-hmm. And you didn't go blab about it to a bunch of guys.
Right.
Oh, of course not. Mm-mm. Why, I have profound respect for you.
Yeah, why would you?
I appreciate the fact that when you saw me, point and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, Steve, there was nothing to laugh about.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my.
Oh, my. Here's another thing, too, that we look at. Remember how I showed you with Laura how she had to watch what she would say with Steve. Think about this, right? We'll bring it back. She has to watch what she says with Steve, because remember, Laura will say it out of 2 and Steve will take it to a 10. Now you're seeing the maturity out of both of them, where Laura tells him straight up, boy, you got it going on till the break of dawn. Okay. And now she can tell him that, and Steve doesn't take it, 10 notches. He takes it for what she's saying now. Just growth between them. Such an interesting situation here, right? And we have to look at it and remember another reason why this situation was so awkward for Steve and Laura is, like I mentioned in the video, one being they're both pure. And when I mean pure, I mean their bodies are pure, their minds are pure. They're pure. You have to remember, Steve's like, yeah, I want all of that. I want all of that, Laura. But he wants it only in one way, and that's in marriage, right? So now he's seeing things. This is, I wanted to just bring this up because I did in the video. But now Steve is seeing things, you know what I'm saying, on Laura, if you know what I was saying, that he may not ever be able to enjoy one day. You know what I'm saying? So those things even kind of mess with your mind a little bit, to be like, okay, now I actually see her and her all together, how God made her, bow, bow. But then it's like, but I don't want to see that. I don't want to put my mind there because I don't even know if I can have that. You know what I'm saying? You trying to give me a taste test. What's going on with that? I'm not good with that. And that, like I said, is the beauty of Steve and Laura. And here's the thing. When we always, for y'all Myra, fans, the one thing that I look at it is when it comes to Myra, remember, Myra is not trying to wait till marriage. Myra is not trying to honor Steve and honor marriage and honor her body and the way God. Myra ain't trying to do all that. Myra's been trying to get Steve, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get, you know what I'm saying? The walls talking, okay? The walls are gossiping. That's what Myra's been trying to do for the longest time, because she does not, she doesn't honor those things, whatsoever, which Steve does. And also what you see here is Laura does. So here's the thing about it. I wonder if people ever thought about this perspective is, I think one of the reasons why Steve, says no to Myra, one of his, I just don't think that's what he wants from her. Like, being real talk. What people got to realize about Steve and Myra is a good friend that he kisses on. That's what Myra is. She's a good friend that he gets to kiss on. That's what it is. They're not even best friends. She's a good friend that he gets to kiss on. And I think Steve knows if he was to go and engage in things before marriage to Myra, I think he knows that it would have messed some things up. Like, okay, if you look at Laura, for example, although Laura is as pure as the snow, like I said, but sometimes we do these things. And what have I said about Laura? Laura kind of mixes love with lust, right? She doesn't know the difference yet. She's trying to figure that out. So she's figuring when Stefan gets her body on the go-go, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go-go. She thinks that's love. And the thing that's so beautiful about Steve right now is Steve has an understanding of what love is. He has a clarity on what love is, right? And what love isn't. And you can see it in his interaction between Myra and Laura. That, Myra and Steve can go do A, B, and C, but he still don't love her like he loves Laura. The greatness in it, because we don't like things that are great now, guys. We want to tear down everything that's great. But the beautiful part about Steve and Laura is Laura is always a reminder. As long as Laura stays around, she is a reminder to Steve of what true love is, what it looks like, what it feels like, right? And that's why he knows the difference between Myra and Laura. But the beauty part about it with Steve, like I said before, is Steve is an example to Laura, right? About what love is, because he's exemplified it. A lot of the moments that they're talking to each other, apologizing. You don't think Steve recognizes, Laura apologizes, Myra doesn't. You don't think Steve has picked that up and seen that? So Steve is recognizing that, that he is an example. And I think Steve fully knows this, that he is an example of love to Laura, because Laura still does not yet understand love, right? And that's why to me, him saying, no to drugs, saying no to Myra is so good, because I think if he would have actually, like I said, make them walls talk, I think it would have distorted what love is to him, because he would have now been mixing love with lust. He would have been mixing it up. And that's the thing that we got to understand about the trickery of relationships. Just because it looks one way doesn't mean it feels one way. And you see this here with Steve. Steve's with Myra like, man, look, I got a dime piece of Laura. You a dime piece too. But I ain't stunning you like that. Nope. He sees Laura in her beautifulness, how God made her, okay? In her birthday suit. And Steve don't know what to do. And it's because he genuinely loves Laura. This is why as long as Steve and Laura stay around each other, it's going to be hard for the others, right? We saw it with when Laura was walking in Disneyland with the guy of her dreams, right? And she over here thinking about Steve. And even on her usher, these are my confessions, like I said, and then confessed that she actually missed Steve. You know, and that's why I said, as long as Laura is around, Laura will always be a reminder to Steve of what true love is and what it feels like. Because he don't feel that with no other person. And as long as Steve is around, he is a consistent, constant reminder to Laura of, and an example to Laura of what what love is and what it's supposed to look like. How this dude's supposed to treat you. Beautifulness of it. And I think this is why people don't like Steve and Laura. It's because they're pure. It's because Steve wants to hold it down and then handle it on the wedding night. Y'all want to go with Myra and Steve because that's what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? You doing stuff. You rushing love before it's ready. You rushing love before it's time. You're doing those things. So you identify with that and you don't identify with the Lord. And this is the bondingness in the unison of Steve and Laura, where you don't have to even talk about it, to where think about this is okay. Steve and Laura have not even talked on a level of, hey, we're going to wait until marriage, because they're not dating. But yet they're both aiming to do that. Laura has some little things, gets a little temptations here or there, right? But that is her aim, because that's what she promised her mom she would do.
If sex was the number one need of every man, every promiscuous woman would have one. But not every woman that can give it up can keep a man.
I think a lot of y'all don't love that because we don't love the things of God no more. We don't love good no more. We don't love greatness anymore. We don't like motivation. We don't like anything good. Do y'all realize that? In this crazy world, y'all really want to go on worship culture. We don't like good anymore. We worship what is evil. We worship what is dark. We worship what's deceiving. We actually clap to those things that are actually deceiving us. And one of those things that causes major deception, again, is Myra and Steve, their so-called love. It is a so-called love, and it's called fake love. But this is what we celebrate now. What we uplift now. That's why a show like Family Matters probably would not even make it today, because it's actually too good. You know what I'm saying? It's actually too positive. It's crazy. But I just want to encourage people. And I love the way Steve and Laura handled this situation. It was an awkward situation. They saw each other. They saw some parts. Okay. They saw some pieces and some parts of each other, but they really handled it with respect, with maturity. You know what I'm saying? With, purity, if you will. It's okay to wait. It's okay to be friends first. It's okay to take it slow. It's okay to honor God with your mind, soul, and your body. You feel what I'm saying? I love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.